Okay. Are you ready?
All right, 3.
Big Cat with the big one finger salute to get us started here. Welcome, everybody, to week number 5 in the Factory of Sadness.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, man. Solid week for your hosts. Top score points, no big deal. Top score points of the season, no big deal. Top scoring team in the league, no big deal, right? Still second place in my division, so fuck it, right?
Yep.
Big Cat,
You brought it strong this week. You really did.
Yeah, and we'll go through it when we do the rankings. But my team functioned as I thought I hoped it would when I drafted it. So, glad to see that we peaked in week 4. Perfect.
Yeah, and our boy Floppy D, man, just catching some big cat luck to start the year.
Catching L's, we had actually 2 bad luck. Bobby's team has just been unfortunate across the board. Plenty of guys that 5 weeks ago I would have been happy to have on my roster, and it's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, what is happening with Kyle Pitts is like a flaming dumpster fire. Javonte, RIP knee. Nothing's coming up Bobby's way right now, but shit happens weird, man. Weird shit happens. So anyway, having said that, you want to just delve right into the rankings?
Yeah, we'll delve into that next time.
Okay.
So Floppy D, so got it on my phone. This actually may be the way to do it. But yeah, he had a 1.3 start, a 3.2 start, a 1.8 start, a 3.5 start, a 4.4, and a 0.
And I think Trey Hendrickson played. I think he played in that game and still got 0 points, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Billy Mack started him against me in the other league.
Yeah, and he played a whole game and didn't record a single
statistic. That's something. That is something.
That really is, especially in a game where they killed Tua and he still couldn't tackle the corpse of Tua. So not great. So anyway, brighter days are ahead for Bob. We'll get into that. We'll talk about that more. But just real quick before we do that, let's talk about our picks last week. I would like to be the first one to congratulate you, Derek, on a wonderful week. 5-1, exceptional. I went 500. I was 3-3. So that brings our season pick tally to I am 13-11. So 2 games above 500. Big Cat is 11-13. So how things even up quickly. So real good. We'll get to our picks at the end of this pod, but obviously everybody's here to see where the rankings shake out. It's my week in the barrel again. I think I get to go first, right, Big Cat?
Yep.
Okay. Well, then let the people see them.
Oh, you can't see them?
I can't see shit.
Oh. You're not looking at
Just says DG.
That's not good.
No?
Sorry, folks. Please bear with us.
I'll put up the little technical difficulties thing again. Perfect timing. Okay.
Do you see it now?
Oh yeah, we got it. Oh. We are ready. We are ready for insertion. Okay. So yeah, hey, Tony wins again. He's 4-0. He's number 1. He stays. Kings stay kings. He had the number 4 weekly score after a down week and a lucky win last week. So, he's still chugging along, doing Tony things and being strong. So, real good. Very impressive. I moved Bobby G and the Butthole Surfers from 3-2. Another win. The number 3 score, I think your cursor's in the way. I can't see if that's 3 or 2, but number 3 score, and just at the time when, Antonio Gibson is starting to feel that real pressure from Brian Robinson, Damian Pierce is just taking control of the Houston backfield, and he seems like a guy you could start every week now. So I think Bobby benched him last week. Yeah. So he left 26 points on the bench. Oh, anyway, Bobby's team seems to be firing on all cylinders. Really nice. Number 3, I moved myself up from 6 to 3. And I also notably jumped the Midnight Poutine Boys in a un-me-like maneuver. I just top score. Like I said there, we fired on all cylinders in week 4. I put 235 with, I benched Miles Sanders to try to mitigate my risk in case that game turned into a slop fest. And, while that cost me, another 14 points, it's interesting because the only change on my roster would have been to replace Alan Lazard with Miles Sanders, which is exactly the change that I made on Sunday, because I was like, it's cold, it's rainy, it's windy. Like, if this is a 13-10 game, I don't want to get fucked. So, worked out in my favor. So anyway, my team's awesome. And, hey, I got this little guy named DeAndre Hopkins coming back in 2 weeks. So, I don't know
That's a sneaky little stash there by you. I noticed that today.
Yeah.
You were bragging about your team over the weekend, so I took a look, man. It's impressive. It really is.
Yeah, there's a little fool's gold in there, right? Because Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift is hurt but not out for the season. Jeff Wilson is, Elijah Mitchell is hurt but not out for the season. But it seems like Miles Sanders is a volatile but good start. So anyway, not to dwell. Midnight Poutine, my notes there. Move the up one spot up to 4. Decent score. Still refuses to play Jordan Poyer. I don't get it. Guy's wearing a Bills shirt and a Bills hat. Won't play the best player on the Bills defense. Maybe we'll get there. Panda drops from 2 to 5. He lives and dies with Lamar and Mark Andrews, and he died this week. So, he's going to have those volatile high and low weeks. Dave Free took a tough loss to me. It was a shit week for Dave. Flush it, chalk it up to a down week, and move on. I don't think Dave's team is bad. I just a bad week, and we all have them. I moved my brother, derelict my balls, who put the number 2 score for the week. And the number 4 score all season. So huge week for derelict. I moved him all the way from 11 to 7. The way I looked at that is he did that with Najee Harris and Michael Pittman doing shit. If those guys get going, like, Mike's team is actually pretty good. So that's why I moved him up so much. I had begrudgingly moved Glenn up from 10 to 8. Not a great week for Glenn, score wise in comparison to the real teams in the league. He scored 156 points. So it's a nice little score. Glenn's got a nice little team, but he's getting everything he can out of it. And, he had his blowout week, but we'll see how it works out. But I had to move him up because it's Glenn. He's always there. Big Poppy dropped a spot from 8 to 9. More like Big Poopy, am I right?
Hi-oh.
Hey-oh. He technically had a winning team this week, but the start stats that he would have had to do were impossible to predict. So what can you do? Andrew drops from 7 to 10. Couldn't quite get to 100 points. Almost there. First time since last season, week 14, that we couldn't get it all the way up into triple digits. So not great, but I know he'll keep working it. Regan and the Chuggers, number 5 scoring in the week, but unfortunately he faced the number 2 team. But signs of life from the Chuggers. I mean, that was a really, really solid week from Regan's team. And he's still playing without Alvin Kamara, who, if he comes back and plays pretty well, Regan's team is all of a sudden okay,
Yeah.
And it's early still. That's the thing. It's it's 14 regular season weeks, so we're 4 games. We got 10 more to go. But speaking of Bobby D, things just things aren't working for him right now, and it's not a bad team. It's just every piece of bad luck out there. It seems is on Bobby's team, and now Javonte Williams blows his knee out. R.I.P. I have here his hands hovering over the panic button. Like he's not dead yet, right? Like the big cat is always eager to point out that a couple years ago, who was it? Joe Yee that started 0-4 and won the whole thing,
No, it was
or Bobby?
no, Matty G.
Matt. Yeah, Matt. So like again, like not dead. Like that's the interesting thing about this league is you're never really dead because the teams are all pretty balanced, but hands hovering over that panic button, hovering. So anyway, that's where I got it. So not a whole, like some movement in the top half and some movement in the bottom half. But I imagine over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to start seeing bottom half guys jump up and top half guys jump down as we kind of get into the October game. So, but hey, there you go. That's my rankings. Hope you enjoyed.
Love it. Impressive as always.
Thank you. That's what she
so,
said.
Honestly, there was a lot of movement on my board here.
Oh, I love it.
So again, we're breaking it out. And I think this is a good time to mention that no one is actually ever dead if you're scoring points, because the last playoff spot is reserved for the team with the highest points that isn't already in the playoffs.
Excellent point.
So we were actually talking about this right before we signed on. I had I had a lot of bad luck last year, but I was still this top. I think I was either one or two. It was a top scoring team, and I wouldn't have made the playoffs without that new rule. And I lost in the first round, so it didn't really do me any good.
Yeah,
but you can still get in, regardless of record, which I think is actually a pretty cool change.
Yeah, and I wonder how that's going to fit into our rankings, because I feel like at the end, as we approach the end of the regular season, I'm going to try to structure my rankings to get those top 6 playoff teams. So you could have some weird team that's like 5-5, that's your number 6 team, if you think that their scoring is going to kind of shake out that way. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
And I think, I think after this week, then I think we'll kind of, get more into, these guys are likely playoff teams and these guys are kind of moving towards the bottom. But right now, I think it's pretty wide open. You had a great point on Chuggers here. They just scored 175 points, right, or something like that, with their best player, one of their best players on the bench. 78.
It's 177. Yeah. That's a legit score. That wins most weeks.
That would have beat me the last 3 weeks, basically, and I'm third in my own ranking. So yeah, there you go. So obviously I've been there. It's frustrating when you don't get off to a good start, but a lot can change. And the best player on the top half team gets hurt. They're going to be scrambling like everyone else. So with all of that said, look at this guy up here, top points on the year. Yep. Oh no, it still has me number 1, but it moved Dave, the football guy rankings, future point predictors, moved Dave all the way up to the second. So that week changed a lot for Dave. I think he was kind of on the borderline playoff teams, and now he is, I think, one of the top teams. So that's where I have him in my personal rankings. Again, everything else is just pulled from a site or a stat. These are kind of my rankings here. Other notable, Floppy D was doing fine on the points for a while, and then that kind of went downhill. So that was noticeable. But how about Dave? Not only number 1 on year-to-date points, but also potential points, which I think is a big deal, especially at this point of the season, because everyone's still kind of working out their starting lineups. So that means he's got players on the bench, and that becomes important when bye weeks start, and when injuries start to rack up towards the end of the season. I moved Joe Yee down a little bit from where I had him last week. Yeah, you're right about Lamar. I think specifically Lamar, but Andrews has to score huge points for him to have weeks like he had the first three. But still one of those contending teams. All
Yeah.
play record. How about this? Sorry, were you gonna say something?
Oh, I just with the Lamar thing, it's like he can have Lamar without Andrews, but he can't have Andrews without Lamar, And that's the risk of that team is like he's going to have blowout weeks, right? Where Andrews has a big game, and then of course Lamar's going to have a big game, but then he's going to have weeks where like a defensive coordinator says, "Well, like I don't give a shit if Devin Duvernay beats us, but like it ain't going to be Mark Andrews."
Right.
So he can still get his good game from Lamar, but then Andrews might have a quiet week. So it's just the diversification of assets, Again, like
Yep.
all about that, but it's the risk, and it's high risk, high reward.
Yep. All right. So yeah, Bob Gavlak, freaking stud. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was at the bottom of our list to start this season, and his all-play record is tied with you actually for the best. So really, this is obviously the best indicator of what's gone on so far.
Mm-hmm.
And Bobby G is at the top of that list, so that is impressive. Just keeps crawling up the rankings.
Yeah, and you know what his thing with that? Like I had a down week. Bobby has never had top score. He's never had bottom score, but he has been like his scores this year are 163, 176, 173, 187. Like every week he's been above league average every single week, which is like there you go. That's why you're beating everybody. So he's got a good thing going, dude. He's won 70. He's 72.7% of league overalls. Like, and like having never been top scorer, never having that 11-0 week, that's impressive.
Yep. And some things work out to your favor. I'm pretty sure he had to keep Jacobs, right? And everyone thought that was a shit keeper, and he's right now, just based off of usage, which is obviously a huge thing for running backs these days. I think that guy, he got like 35 carries or something crazy.
Yeah, I was actually a big Jacobs guy this year. I was kind of busted up that he decided to keep him because I was going to jump on that. Well, the Raiders, like, they didn't re-sign him. They're going to just give him the ball. And he's definitely the best running back on that team by a lot. So, anyway, yeah, things are coming up. Bobby's, for a guy that was clearing the Canadian border during our draft, like, fuck, his team is good.
Yeah, seriously. Unbelievable. Yeah, and our website has him second in the power rankings. So, so pretty crazy there. And we're basically tied at this point with the overall rankings. Probably the tiebreaker is what I assigned to myself.
Yes,
so there you go. So yeah, solid team. I got I'm 3-1, so I have advantage over Turd Ferguson right now in that division. But have these three guys as the division winners, and you and Panda and Turd Ferguson as the wild cards right now. Honestly, Glenn scored like 180 last week, and Chuggers had a good game too. Yeah, I'm changing this on the fly. We're making all these guys blue.
Glenn scored 156.
Oh, 156.
Yeah, which was just below league average last week was 157. So Glenn was just below league average. Regan scored 177.
Yep.
So that was a big week for him.
So yeah, everyone still in it, and I think like you, your brother Mike was the biggest riser on my board. He was actually in the danger zone last week, and he's borderline playoff fighting team right now, and so he's like sixth in total points. So, but that's up. So he's trending in the right direction.
Yeah, he was my biggest riser too. I think a lot of things kind of clicked with that team, and Like it became a situation where I looked at it and I was like, well, wait a minute, like this team has like pretty good potential and like this team's not bad.
Yeah.
So I felt the same way when I was looking at it.
All right, let's pick some games. What do you say?
Fucking right. Let's do it. I got to come back. I'm getting treated like a fucking schoolboy bitch last week.
All right, we'll
we
save
have,
the game of the week for last.
yeah,
So,
we obviously have the game of the week, which is amazing.
Fucking Thunderdome right there, man.
I mean,
Gonna be.
yeah. So Big Poopy, and he's 1-3. Tony 4-0. I mean, like I'm just sticking. I mean, I'm not going to pick against Tony until he loses. So I'm on Tony here.
I'll take Big Poppy.
Okay.
Yeah,
And,
that's really well. I guess. Yeah, I mean Tony's roster is still pretty good.
Yeah.
But
For me, it's a principal bet. I'm not even looking at the players. I'm just. It's like like you're going to bet the over in the Red River Shootout, and you're going to bet on Tony until he loses. That's how I live. Which, by the way, bet the over in the Red River Shootout.
Is Christian McCaffrey playing this week?
Yeah, he gets every Wednesday off, and he had a big week last week, man. Finally caught nine balls, which was nice. By the way, just real quick, I hate to interject. I feel like Baker got worse, right? He's as bad as you've ever been.
Yep.
I mean, wow.
So I always felt like he was like square in the middle, like quarterback 16, right? Like not good enough to win games for you, but if everything is good, like, he can be real good. But
he's
I think he's just taken too much of a pounding mentally and physically to come back from. But he's had like 5 different offensive coordinators and like 4 different systems, and now he's playing behind that shitty offensive line. Like he doesn't have much of a chance at it as it is, and he's just not good enough to like overcome that stuff.
I would imagine that you're kind of right because like the Browns have an excellent offensive line. I agree. It's just like, boy, bad. When are they gonna fire that guy too? They got to get rid of him.
Yeah.
But whatever.
All right. Yeah, I'll take Poppy just because I need to make up ground, and Tony's bound to have an off week sometime.
All right, here we go. We got the 2-2 Derelict My Balls, the quick rising Derelict My Balls versus 3-1 Butthole Surfers. Let's see, is there anything tasty this week? Eckler, who does Eckler play? The Browns. Okay.
The Browns without Myles Garrett and Clowney are.
Well, Garrett
he may score 100 points.
Garrett practiced today, so
yeah, he's at practice, but I don't know if he's gonna play.
Yeah. Boy, I don't know. I just don't know how you bet against Bobby,
Yep.
But who does the Raiders play? Who does Jacobs get? Because like he got so much out of Jacobs last week.
Monday night.
Oh boy, a Monday night hammer. Fuck. And then the Giants play the Packers. God, I feel like this is going to be a close one. Actually, I like this as a close one. I'm going to stick inside the family. I'm going with my brother and Derelict My Balls.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one.
Oh, really? All right, I love it. All right. Okay, so both of us on Derelict, which means Bobby's definitely going to win. Sorry, Mike. And here we go. In the fucking pillow fight of the week, we got 2 teams playing with 1 win between the 2 of them. Fuck, and all the Steelers on Bobby's team have to play the Bills this week. Yeesh, that's not great. That's. Let's see. Here, let's play a little game called let's try to find a win for Bobby. Let's see. Can I find a win here? I mean, Andrew has Carson Wentz. And I don't know if he's going to play Goff. Fournette. Cordero Patterson's out hurt. So who does he backfill with? J.K. Dobbins. That's not so bad. Oh, shit.
Bobby has J.K. Dobbins?
No, Andrew does. Bearded Clam. So Bobby's going to pump Pickens up into the starting lineup, I bet. I feel like he's got to get starts for Ayuk. He can't start Cam Akers anymore. But now he's going to be stuck. I think Nichols worth of free advice. If I were Bobby, I would only start AJ Dillon and then backfill the rest with receivers and tight ends and see if we can make that work. Because like Melvin Gordon, I don't trust that, right? And Cam Akers is like you can't trust that either. So like AJ Dillon's going to get work. He'll score his touchdowns and stuff like that. I think Bobby has to do that and then try to work it out with the wide receivers. He's got good receivers out there. But man, does he have these underperforming guys like crazy?
Yep.
Pitts, Allen Robinson. Fuck, dude. Yeah, I'm going with Bobby.
I'll go with the Bearded Clam to go opposite, but it's going to be like these are very low predicted scores. Like it's not going to be the greatest game.
Yeah, something weird's going to have to happen out there, right? And maybe, who knows? Like I've seen weirder stuff than the Bills and the Steelers shoot it out a little bit. And, you get Gabe Davis, you get Pickett on the board, you get Freiermuth on the board. Pitts finally has his game. You never know. You never know. Anyway, good of you to pick your own brother, too. That keeps with the family theme.
There you go.
All right. Who's next? Turd? Panda?
Turd and Panda. Mini game of the week.
Yeah,
two
for sure.
high-ranking teams.
Yeah, 2-2 teams fighting to get over 500 here. By my rankings here, I like Panda by a nose. And I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I'm going to go Panda.
Yeah. So he currently only has Aaron Rodgers. So that should be fine. Isn't that in like Germany or something? Yeah. So Aaron Rodgers against the Giants, that should be pretty good. But he's without Jonathan Taylor. And everything else is just not great. So, I ordinarily would pick Turd Ferguson on a bounce back, but I'm going to have to stick with Panda on this one.
Okay. All right. That brings us to our last of our 4:00 slate here. We have Mike Regan's Chuggers against Glenn. It's the old man bowl. Probably at least 100 years between the two of these old fucks.
Old man yells at cloud.
The Walker Bowl here. Enjoy your remaining years, Bull. Yeah. I waxed a little poetic about Regan and how he kind of had a decent week. And I think he has potential with this starting lineup. I think Kamara is set. Like, look, if this guy can't run against Seattle, like that's a fucking problem. I respect that. I respect that Regan refuses to give up on Darnell Mooney, despite the fact that his own team. I mean, he had he had 11 points last week. So, but that's the worst team in the league, the Bears. But yeah, I'm going Regan, man, and I think Regan's going to win the Aiden Hutchinson lottery this week. This is an on week. Hutchinson's been off on. He was off last week. He's going to go on this week. So there you go.
Well, honestly, normally I would pick Regan on this one, but I'm gonna have to go libtard to go contrary. Let's try to catch up.
Okay.
I think this game's gonna be close too. I think I don't see many outperformances on either team, but I do like this Rashard Penny. Like on both squads, that's a nice play. But yeah, I'll take Glenn.
All right, going with Glenn. I think it should be close. I agree with you there. What does the site think?
Oh, I
Oh,
don't think
yeah.
Glenn had a lineup in.
Oh, okay. Well, it still makes a best guess.
Oh yeah, it has.
It has Glenn by kind of a wide margin here, so I guess we'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
All right.
live lineup, Cat.
Josh Allen.
Obvious.
Yep.
You're going back to Connor.
Tony Pollard. Starter, 4 points. Non-starter, 17.8. Non-starter, 13.5. Starter, 1.3.
How do you get those 1.3 points? 1 catch, 2 yards, and 6 yards rushing.
Boom.
Quality start.
I didn't even watch that game, so I don't know how that happened, but
It was fucking horrible.
he's playing the Rams, so he's fucking out.
You're in the Tony Pollard blender.
I am. I really am.
Now let me ask you, your boy DJ Moore, are we doing it?
I think we might have to, honestly.
What just happened here? Are you checking Amon-Ra?
Yeah.
Not looking great. I'll tell you what, if Amon-Ra doesn't go, then Mike Smith and his Hawkinson magic could happen again.
Yep, definitely possible. So
is that enough?
So I can tell you right now, I am not going to win. I'll put Poyer in though. He'll score 3 points. I can guarantee you that. You must select 12.
You might want to start 12 against me.
Yeah. You know what? Nico's my boy. I need a miracle. See what happens.
I like it.
I obviously haven't done much research on fantasy football this week, but I'm sure I'll pull something out.
Plenty of time. We'll stop boring the boys and make our picks. I'm going to pick myself.
Yeah, I will. I'll pick myself, but that's only. You know what? I'm picking you. I'll pick you. I don't think there's any way I can win this matchup. If I do, it would be you. The Eagles would need to. The Eagles would need to score like 6 points, and Josh Allen would need to have like 350 and 6 touchdowns.
That's possible.
That's how I would have to win.
But the Eagles aren't going to do that because the Eagles have the Cardinals this week, and the Cardinals kind of smoke pole, I think. So, and that's a lot of wide receiver. That's a lot of wide receiver bullets to dodge that I'm firing at you. You know.
Yeah, I have no chance this week. I really don't.
All right.
So,
well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, should be another exciting week here at the factory. Stay tuned for the greatest game of the week between Derek and I, and the rest of you guys, do whatever you want. It's fine by me. And if you like what you've heard tonight,
drop a like on it.
All right, fuck it. Good luck this week, boys.
All right, boys. We'll see ya. Holler.